welcome to Dear Pop Culture Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about pop culture that is dear to us. I am Gina Harms. I am your host. And today I'm joined by a very funny guest. He's a great comedian, such a fun guy, Alain Williams. We talk a lot about superhero stuff. We talk about Japan and G.I Joes, toys. It's a really fun episode. I think you'll really like it. Also, while I'm here, gotta shout out Harbor Podcast Studios and let you know that if you want to do your podcast out of Harbor Podcast Studios, work with them, collab, you can hit them up on Instagram with the promo code POPCULTURE and get 10% off your first 10 recordings, and that will help the podcast here out. So again, Harbor Podcast Studios, and enjoy the convo with Alain.
I didn't just get here in a rush at all.
I mean, if you need a minute.
I don't.
Okay.
Like, this is how I live my life
Perfect.
all the time. So
okay,
it's
great.
Closer.
Yeah.
Upper.
I don't know.
Downer.
This is what I learned in voiceover school.
Oh, word. I didn't do that, but this will come in handy.
Yeah.
And then add an extra hand because.
Yeah. If you're yelling.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm just talking, but it's the same for York folk.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's
yeah.
Where are you coming from today? What are you doing?
I just came from home getting cleaned up and changed. I was on a date earlier today. Yeah, I'm like back into back on the apps. I tried to make it feel like I'm back out there, but it's just the fucking apps.
Right? It doesn't feel exciting.
No, but I mean, like it was good. It was good.
Right.
Like but yeah, like just the act of it, just of the yes, no, it's very odd. But no, I went on a date with a girl. Second date, she's very sweet. I took her to the conservatory.
Oh.
Where they keep birds and plants and shit.
Yes, the Bledel
Conservatory.
Yeah. I've been there.
I had not been there. I'd been outside of it, just hanging out or whatever. But so I took her there, and we both knew we were going there, and then as we walked up the hill and walked in, she informed me that she's terrified of birds.
No.
And I was like, oh, you couldn't have hollered at me about this a second ago.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it would have been a bad idea had I known it was a bad idea. But up until then, I thought I was flossing. I was like, ooh, shit. Oh, your boy got
it's a
good
very
ideas.
Cute idea.
Shit. But no, until it's a bad idea.
So did you go in?
Yeah. Well,
was she okay?
We both went in. Yeah. I didn't just go, well, listen, I walked all the way up that hill. I'm walking into this place. You can do whatever you want.
You were like, I really wanted to go to this.
Yeah. No. We both walked in and saw parrots and cockatoos and things, and then there was one point where a dude was just holding one and swinging it around in his arm. He's like, this is her name was Blanca, she had all white feathers, she was an umbrella cockatoo. Wow, I retained a lot of this information. Wow, it was very effective, I guess. Yeah, I was about to talk shit, but yo, shout out, dude. That was They're called umbrella because their frill doesn't come up straight, it comes up and fans out. I'm like, oh shit, god damn it. But yeah, and I was like, oh, well, what a cute bird. And it's this big. It's and then I look back and she's hiding behind me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I was like, we can leave if you want. And she's like, no, let's do one more lap around. I'm like, okay, word. And
fun.
we almost got pooped on. Birds like flew and swooped around her, like, and then like flew away, like Batman.
They knew
like
she was scared.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the guy was like constantly like, they won't attack you. If you touch them, they might bite, but they'll never come at you. And she was like, okay, word. And then they all flew. They were like chasing each other and flew around her, and she was like, Jesus Christ! And I'm like, I was having a ball.
Yeah,
I was
that's
having
really
such
funny.
a good time. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I get her, like, because I'm the type of person where, like, you know, when you're like walking, you see a bunch of pigeons, and like all of a sudden they just kind of like scatter.
Yeah.
I'm always like, and it's so not necessary because they are not going to get me. But I'm always just like, I don't know.
It's the flinch for sure. Like I'm not afraid to throw hands at a pigeon, but I'm not like actively afraid of them, right? Like I'll walk in and amongst them, but if they go, I'm like, you know, just flex on it, like just, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes they do it.
Yeah,
it feels really close.
Yeah, it is very close.
Yeah,
fucking pigeons, but that's pigeons, you know.
Yeah, it's not scary. It's just like
these are like beautiful tropical birds, and I was like,
that's very true.
Yeah, so
different.
They were bigger and like in a way more dangerous. There was this one parrot just like staring at people and biting a stick. He was like born in 1978, and he's just like, he looked old. He's like, oh what dog? What? His name was like Al or some shit. It was sorry, Art. That's his name. He had the name of like an old prisoner.
Yes. Yeah, I was literally picturing like the person that would own that bird.
Yeah.
It's just like some kind of villain.
Yeah.
Like
I used to be a real bad guy, but ever since I got Art, you know, I've calmed down a lot.
Oh my God. One of my neighbors has a bird, and he said he's had it for I think 45 years.
Yeah, they live
like,
a long time.
Yeah, so it's like he bought that bird when he was 20. You're like, that's cool to have a bird, and now he's in his 60s.
And he still has the
like,
same bird.
Yeah, I live in an apartment building. Yeah. He like takes it for little walks downstairs.
Yeah. And the bird's like, you would not believe the things I've seen. Yeah. Okay, so I'm like, I'll confess, like I'm very relaxed and casual here, but also there's a sliver in my head that's like terrified to be like, okay, not like any second she's gonna talk about pop culture.
I'm gonna be like, what do you know about pop culture?
I'm gonna have to confess that I'm like, I just turned 36, so nothing.
It doesn't have to be like current. Like this podcast is not the best thing about like me doing this podcast. Sometimes I do episodes just me by myself.
Word.
And it's like, I'll be like, I watched Gilmore Girls again the other day.
Again? It's the again.
Or it's like, I watched this random movie. This is how I feel about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's not in the news.
And he should be. Because he's still out there trifling. You trifling ass. Yeah. Exactly. And like, no, cut back. Yeah, he is. He is trifling.
Oh, yeah.
DiCaprio.
Now he's dating a single mom.
Which is like, I guess, a step up.
I think it's a step up.
Yeah. At least he acknowledges that they can be moms.
Right, true.
Yeah.
He respects it, hopefully.
Hopefully. And by it, you mean a mother and her child.
I meant motherhood.
Yeah. As a concept. Word.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I would normally ask, like, what have you watched recently, or like
so this is like the other thing I'm like concerned about. Not concerned, like I'm fine. I'm sure you'll be fine. It's just that I don't like, you've put in a lot of work to make this not like straight white dudes talking about Star Wars, but the last thing I just watched was Star Wars.
No, that's totally, I love that. No. For real, I like that you acknowledge that, but it's like every once in a while it's okay. You know?
Oh, word. Okay, cool. Like,
and like I'm super into like I've watched Star Wars, but like I'm super into like Marvel movies.
Yeah,
and
word.
So I'll go off about that.
Okay, word. Okay, so like I guess like like I watched the last episode of Andor, which was like their like spy thriller kind of show, and it was the showrunner was the director of like the movie Michael Clayton. Okay. So it feels like a very like adult thing. Like if I were still in my early 20s trying desperately to convince people that Star Wars was cool, this is what I would point them at, but I don't care anymore. Like I don't like, it's fine if you don't like the things I like. I'm a full-on adult who's like, this is Star Wars has always hot take. Star Wars has always been dumb, and that's that's its charm.
I like that.
Right?
Yes.
So like if so you dumb. Like that thing, that's awesome. If you don't like that thing, that's fine. Just stay off the fucking internet about it, right? Yeah. Like don't and if someone else doesn't like that thing, stay off the internet about it. Don't fuck with them. Yeah. You know?
It's so crazy. Like I see so many TikToks or things that I don't like or I don't find funny, and not once have I ever thought to comment not funny.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and then like repost it in a separate thing and tell other people why here's why I think this version of this TikTok is the worst version of it of all time. Yeah. But first hit like and fuck off, right? Like so like I watched this thing. I guess my quick review of it, because it's probably not your audience.
I don't have much to contribute because I haven't watched it.
Okay, word.
Then I do want to. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it is very intriguing as a show. You can watch it and not care that it takes place in space. Okay. And just be. It's just about like.
Just happens.
It's about like people surviving and then choosing to revolt against oppression, and they put a Star Wars skin on top of that. So there's no like the Force or lightsabers or like magic or destiny or heroes. The thing I like the most about it is that it's like, oh, I could stand up and fight and die. I don't want to, and it looks painful and awful, but it's like, oh, if things are that bad, you can protest. If things are that bad, you can stand up, right? Like, so it very much is just only about that thing, and I really liked that. I don't want all Star Wars to be this thing, but I think this is also the best Star Wars thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We can stop talking about it now.
No, that's good. Well, I've only seen like the movies. I haven't
watched any of the shows or anything. Yeah.
No.
I'm like it feels like nerd homework.
I get that because I was super into the MCU.
Yeah.
And now there's so many shows. I'm like,
yeah.
I can't.
And there's like have you done any of the Marvel shows? Have you done those as well, or?
I did. Frick, what's it called? Well, She-Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then one of only the female ones, WandaVision.
Yeah, that's amazing. Only the girl ones. Thank you.
Honestly, yeah. I'm like, I was like, I didn't want to watch Hawkeye. I haven't because I was like, oh, Hawkeye is so boring. But now I'm hearing about it. I'm like, oh, it's like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, it's the Haley Steinfeld show featuring just a tired Jeremy Renner. He's like, ugh. You're like, I know, dude. You've been at it this whole time.
Yeah.
You know, so
he didn't need to.
Yeah, but he did.
Yeah.
I've watched all of the shows so far, and I think I've watched all of the films. And this phase, I guess, has been like, I'm still on board because, like, I guess I gave them their props for pulling off like the greatest magic trick that Hollywood ever saw. Was like,
that's crazy.
Like convincing like the general movie-going public to watch their films the same way I learned how to read comic books as a kid, which was like, oh, I got to go next month for the next thing. It's actively destroying Hollywood, but I'm still in it, right? You know,
same. Like, it's really interesting. Like, because I hate all of the like, well, you know, when like Scorsese and like all the directors are like, never do it, and I'm like, well, they're fun. Like,
yeah, I mean, like,
good to have fun movies.
I understand some of their complaint of like it's they're the only films that get screen time because they make the most money and they can afford to book that theater time. Like it's been, I think like a very clear line has been drawn now, but between like big tentpole superhero films, I guess the Fast and the Furious is that like they transformed into a superhero franchise in order to survive, and it worked, right? Definitely. And then like A24, which is like where like all the art house and like indie things go, which 2 decades ago were what Hollywood made mainly.
Yeah, it was just like you could just go watch like a comedy, just a broad comedy. Yeah, because like right now in theaters there's like lots of movies out because it's like award season, but like in the summer it's just us. Superhero movies. Yeah. And this phase of Marvel films has been like, kind of, like I said, I'm still in it, but it still feels like diminishing returns a bit. Like they are trying to maintain something while rebuilding it at the same time. It feels like getting renovations on your like apartment and you're like, oh fuck, I can't look outside because there's a weird haze over it. It's like, I guess it'll be good soon, but right now. But that's also a thing I'm used to, having read comic books for a long time. Is like there'll be a big event and you're like, fuck yeah, Endgame, and then afterwards you're just like, I guess they're like meandering until the next big thing, right? And you find like one good title and you're like, oh okay, Black Panther's good, right? Have you seen I was about to say, yeah, I loved it.
I did too.
I didn't expect to really like it as much as I did. And like, because the trailer, I don't know, I guess they did put some of the stuff in it, but it was mostly, it's about Chadwick. And it's like, I was like, is this just going to be really sad?
And the answer is like, yes, it will be sad.
It really was. But I thought I heard people say things like, oh, they're like using him to sell this movie. And I'm like, I thought it was a really good tribute to him.
Yeah. If they did not, there are a million other ways they could have done it and they would have all been bad.
Yeah,
right? Like
if they did nothing.
If they did nothing,
just killed the character, then what?
Or if they recast him and the character's still alive, like it's like putting in the work to like pay tribute to the guy who like was the face of not just this big Marvel event, but this big like capital C culture, like capital B culture event, right? Like when I went to see Black Panther, the first one on opening night, there was just like right next to me were like 4 like African moms who like when the film was done started like chanting, and I'm like, what? I don't know if you've ever had this. I don't know where your people are from, but have you ever experienced a thing that made your DNA cry? Like that's what it was. I was like, what the fuck? It was amazing. Wild, right? And then this film, like the first 10 minutes of the film, I was like, oh shit, it's happening again. It's like I thought I didn't think it would be that fast and that hard, and then the very like quiet Marvel intro with the all Chadwicks. I was like, oh, shit.
Right,
he was our king. Like it's just a film, but also like it meant a lot more, and I was like, I can do both things. I'm like, it was a very good film, and I have critiques, and also it was a wonderful event to be swept up in, and now we're sad. Like
I want to talk about like the villain in that movie.
Yeah,
that was so cool. He was so cool.
Loved that. I knew they would do him right because like he's old school comic book bad. He's like one of the first guys who's like, haha, I'm from the ocean and I'm a bad guy. See, like very much like he like the artist who first drew him, Jack Kirby, drew a lot of things as very like blocky characters. If you've ever seen any like MF Doom art, it's all inspired by that artist, right? And like original art of the Thing from Fantastic Four is just a big blocky man, and then you look at the artist, and he was just a big blocky man who fought in World War II. I think he co-created Black Panther, and there was a thing that happened. It may have been about Black Panther, or it may have been earlier about something else, where he included Jewish characters and some like post World War kind of like far right like Nazi sympathizers in the States, like in New York, went to Marvel's New York office and like were protesting it, and he like went downstairs and punched them, and then went back up and started drawing things, right? So it's like he was like that kind of guy, and like all of that art looks like it poured into that character, and then they made it about like colonial trauma on top of that, and I was just like, all right, yeah, I was blown up. I was concerned that the wings wouldn't translate. But somehow people were like, I mean, we've seen magic happen. We're just gonna accept weird hummingbird like ankle man.
Yeah, why not? It was like, I was just like, I didn't know, and I went back and watched the trailer, and they did have him in it, but I guess I just didn't know who he was, so it didn't click. But like that whole scene when the underwater people first get introduced, when they attack the like Navy ship, I had like chills.
The song.
And people, I was like, are these sirens?
Yeah. Oh, word. And then like the helicopter. We're just spoiling things. By the way.
It's been out for a few weeks.
Yeah, figure it out. Have you watched it? No. Figure it out.
I haven't talked about it on the podcast
yet. You were like, hey, heads up. I invited Alain on. He's Black Panther probably will come up. Like it was, I think they did him phenomenally. Like, they retconned the origin of his name because the Mesoamerican angle was all this director. He made, because before he's just like an ethnically ambiguous man in the ocean with really sharp eyebrows.
Okay.
And everyone's like, is he Asian? We're not sure. And they made a Mesoamerican in the film, and that particular case of like colonial like pain and anguish, and then being like, oh, like what was it, like the child without love. And I was like, oh,
El
my
Niño say no more.
Shut up. That is so dope. Yeah.
Really cool.
Go watch it after this.
Honestly, because
you deserved it.
I was like, no, so the day after I saw it, it had been out for a week, and I went to a comedy show the next night, and I'm sitting at a table, and there's like 6 comics, and I was like, who's seen Black Panther? Nobody.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. I mean, like, I know that like they would be hard pressed to try and follow the like wave of excitement from the first film, especially now that more time has passed, a lot more superhero fatigue is like set in.
Yeah.
But I would still say that like if you were hype about the first Black Panther film and you didn't go and watch this film at all, fake fan, fake ally.
True. Yes, exactly.
I love the thing I love about podcasts is you can just say things with no consequence.
Say things, yeah.
I could call imaginary people out like, hey man, hey.
Yeah, I love that you're using the camera very well. I never gesture to the camera. I never think to.
Yeah, it's I do it as a bit.
Yeah.
Like I do it like when there's no cameras around, I'll point to a blank space, and my friends are like, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Like Fleabag.
Yeah, it's like cheeky. You know, this is about to happen. You know. Am I a bad person? Yeah.
I wish you just said that.
Yeah.
My friends would be like,
what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, those I think those two things are those two like pieces of media are the two big things. But yeah.
Like recent things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
don't know. I just came back from a trip to Japan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was my first ever time going there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was amazing. I was only in Tokyo. I was there for 6 days,
Okay.
and I was completely like, I knew I would be, and I still wasn't quite prepared for like how blown away I was by absolutely everything
Nice.
that I loved and experienced. The people and culture and food and like the sights and sounds and stuff are all.
Yeah, what did you do? I went when I was 16. I went with my family, weirdly, but it
Yeah.
was like so cool, and
Yeah.
I would love to go back.
Yeah, I've made it a point. I'm like, I think my friend might be getting hitched next year, so I think I'll be going back then for
Are you like going to visit a friend?
kind of, well, like not the same friend, but my a good friend of mine, he basically like he animates entire feature films by himself.
Wow.
And then that takes him like a year or a year and a half, and then when he's done, he just goes to Japan for like 2 months, and then he comes home and does that again.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude. But like he was in like the first leg of his like big Japan trip, and I said, well, I'm gonna go too.
Cool.
They had just opened up. Yeah.
Post COVID.
Yeah, and the yen was like at a spot where it's like, oh, I can actually go and like not break my bank kind of thing. I still broke my bank. I still spent money that I do not have in order to go, but I don't feel that bad about it. Like, yeah, great.
Worth it.
Yeah,
for sure.
lots of beautiful temples and shrines that are like right adjacent to like major like metropolitan areas, and I really loved the Harajuku district, which like I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't the thing I thought it would be, that I hoped it wouldn't be, which is like when you hear that word, if you're of a certain age, you think of
Gwen Stefani.
You think of Gwen Stefani,
Yeah.
right? And it was like,
well, I went when I was 16, and I was like, it was amazing. But yeah, definitely, she was in my mind.
yeah. And it's like, am I gonna eat this like seafood that I haven't heard of? Take a chance, you stupid hoe. And, you know, like, you know, yeah, it's like I would be lying if I said that her voice wasn't in my head sometimes, and I was always like, get out. But yeah, like I went to the Harajuku district because I knew I wanted to like cop some like good rigs. Some like I wanted to see like what the like cutting edge of fashion in this place was. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that like most people hear Harajuku and they think like it's just like girls in big kitschy bubbly outfits, but that was just one aspect of fashion in a very small space with many different pockets of culture and fashion, and she co-opted one and went, this is cool, and then like brought it home and was like, this is Japan, it's mine now. And it was like, holy shit.
She was like very problematic. Like she had those like 4 women, and she was like, they don't talk.
Yeah, you cannot talk with them. They're like aspects of my imagination. I'm like, no, those are people from another country. Yeah, and so like I went there and I saw like really cool like just like people like with like shops that are like the size of your hand that like that like are like hyper focused on one aspect of fashion, be it like the sneakerheads or the hypebeast stuff or like the like goth culture. Like it felt like not just one pocket of culture, but like self-expression with the utmost of intent, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, there's like something for everyone kind of there.
Yeah, and you can shop and mix and match. And,
yeah.
Did
you get like any standout?
Yeah, I did. I got some rig. I did again, try not to break my bank, but wanted to get some. I actually got this. This is one of the things I got. This place was like a really cool, like kind of like goth punk, kind of like a lot of this like suede stuff. And I walked in and I was like, oh, like I really wanted to get this because I liked that it said, try to change something if you want to make enemies.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that reminds me of every aspect of my life. I walked in, and the guy, it was just one guy in a shop literally the size of this corner here. And he was like, yeah, I'm the designer of this space. So he designed everything, and that was one of the things I was like really excited about, was like buying something directly from someone who made their own stuff. And and I was really, really hype on that. I walked past, here's a wild thing. I walked I walked past a store called Black or Blacks or something, BLAX, not just like the Blacks, but like, or so I thought. But like, I thought it was cool because it was like a sneaker store and apparel store that had like a painting of like DMX in the window and a painting of Nas in the window, and then there was like a guy standing outside of it, like hanging out. I don't know if he worked there or like owned it or not, but he was just there, and he was like a black guy, like with like kinky afro, and then he turned around and it was a Japanese guy.
Whoa!
And I was like, whoa, holy shit! And it looked like, it didn't look like paint on. It looked like procedural, like maybe like injection. Like he looked like me, you understand?
Yeah.
But and then here he looked not like me, but his hair, he had like, I'm bald. I was like, damn, dude, like I wish I had his hair. I don't know how he made his hair kinky.
Weird.
Like his hair looked like my beard, and I was like, holy shit. And like my first instinct, and even thinking about it since then, the dozens of times I have, never anger.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm not mad at it, but I am like, huh.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. I think, like, I know why. It's like appreciation, admiration for a thing.
Yeah.
But outside of the context of like American interaction and culture. So like they're getting Black culture from the voice of like Black people through the lens of white conglomerate media,
right,
and then shipped to Japan.
Right.
And it's like, that's what happens. This is like,
they're not having the conversation.
Who would they have it with?
Yeah.
Right? Like I remember I saw like 3 Black people that didn't know each other outside of like a major train station in a city of 13.9 million people, and I was like, whoa, cool. Like it was like neat. Right? But like, there was no point where I was like, hey. I was like, hey, right? Like it was just a very like
just
weird thing. And like they'll do the same thing with like rockabilly culture or right or like any pocket of culture or fashion that
That's
they
true. They'll just pick a thing and then just go
all in.
Yeah.
Wow. And I was like, I get it. I like kung fu. I guess. I don't know. Fuck. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm Asian. Like, and I don't think he thought he was Black.
Right.
He just saw and used like kind of like co-opted the color of skin and the style of hair as a part of the fashion, which it is not. And like eventually someone will have to have a talk with people who do that, but like there are more immediate systems to dismantle first.
Right.
So it was very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Outside of Black's the store.
I think it was called that. I wouldn't be surprised if I was right.
Yeah. Oh my god. Did you visit the Pokemon store?
I didn't visit the Pokemon store, but that's not to say that I wasn't exposed to so much Pokemon stuff. Like, I visit one like tower that every floor, like it was in this district called the Electric District, and it was very much like video games, electronics, like it was just like the place to go and get that stuff either like directly out of the box or secondhand, and things like that. And there was this tower, and every floor was like a different kind of arcade, I guess. And they all had one game, so the entire floor was just one game, and people would go on that floor and play that one game. So if you wanted to play like Gundam, then you're a mech pilot and you're on that floor. And then there was like one floor there that was, or like 3 floors of that were just like gotcha balls, which are very popular. They're like the crane grab game where you try and get specific toys and things like that are in these little pods. Okay. And they'll come from many different franchises, Pokemon or Final Fantasy or Sega or whatever it is. Yeah. And I saw a lot of Pokemon stuff in that. So I was like, that's like, it felt like actually like I need to catch Pokemon. And I wanted no part of that addiction. I couldn't handle that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Are you a big Pokemon head?
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely was as a kid.
Yeah.
And then I've only got, like, Pokemon Go, like, last summer, because my nephews were... I never got it when it came out, because I was like, I don't need to be addicted to this.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Smart. Yeah. It's like, know where your personal line is. Yeah.
But then last summer, I was visiting my nephews, and they were, at the time, I think, like, 7 and 11.
Right.
And
I like the story.
Oh, wow.
I'll go. Thank you. This has been, what's this podcast called? Okay,
cool. Yeah, anyway, they were super into Pokemon Go. They were like playing it on my sister's phone, and they were like, you have to get it. And then like now they have like their iPod Touches, they have it on, and they added me, but now they don't play it at all. And now
they left you, and you're just, please, I need it. Yeah. I need to go to the gym and get that badge.
Yeah, exactly.
They just abandoned you.
Yeah,
and they're like, we're on to something else.
It's literally like me and my mom are on it. You know, like you send your friends gifts.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
I think that is the ultimate difference between children and adults. Like, adults can't let go.
Yeah.
We try so hard and we can't.
Yeah, because when you're a kid and you have that thing and it's a few months of your life, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
It feels like I was into that forever. And then
what is it that they say? It's like 80 or it's like some obscene percentage of your perceived life is over by the time you're 18. Not to make it too depressing.
What?
Yeah. So
crazy.
It's like, because like the way we perceive time changes as we get older.
Whoa.
Right? And like the majority of our perceived life is over by the time we're 18 or 19. So that's why children are bored and adults are like, time sure is flying.
Yeah.
Because it perceptually is. And like they're experiencing more time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah, it sucks. At the end of the day, it sucks.
Yeah,
like
really.
I don't know how. Like I just had my 36th birthday while I was in Japan, and I don't remember how I got here. Right? Like yeah, and I remember every birthday from my childhood.
Yeah,
everyone except for the one where I was like 2 and like fell asleep and didn't get a piece of my own cake. They told me every birthday since. Hey, Alain, you remember that one where you fell asleep and
like,
didn't
no,
get a piece?
I don't remember.
I'm like, I don't, but I'll never forget.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's I don't know.
How we do it for time? How long does this go?
I was just checking. We have a little
sick.
A little longer.
Yeah, word.
But yeah, because I wanted to talk more about like the childhood stuff or stuff you were
trauma?
into.
Okay, cool.
No, like what were you into? Like, were you like super into Pokemon or like?
What was I into?
Like if you had one of these birthdays, did you ever have like a theme birthday or? No, I did not. I think the theme of any birthday I had was like happy birthday. That's good.
That which was dope. Yeah,
I don't think I ever had a theme birthday either.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it'd be weird if someone in my family put that much energy into me.
Okay.
I'm too much like energy as it is. I am an expenditure of energy with giving nothing back.
Nice.
But no, it was just like standard birthdays. Like I remember the birthday I got like a Super Nintendo, but it wasn't like a theme. It was like, here, have this. And I was like, yay, right? I remember one birthday, my mom worked at a care home, and it was in the 90s. So the Ninja Turtle boom was kind of like starting to wrap up, and other booms had kind of had their heyday. Like He-Man came and went. G.I Joe kind of was kind of in the mix, but it came and went as well. And I think one of my mom's like elderly clients, her grandkid had grown out of G.I Joe. Okay. So I remember I woke up one morning and came downstairs, and there was like a full-sized fishing tackle box filled with G.I Joes.
Oh my God.
Like not in the wrapper, not in the box, pre-played with used G.I Joes. I'm gonna cry. And and I'm like, oh my God. And it was like everyone on the good side. I had a Cobra Command, like everyone on the bad side. Like it was really, really dope. And where you like when the tackle box opens up and slides up like that, like you put all the like hooks and bait. You had like guns and jetpacks and like masks. And I was like, I was maybe 4 or 5. So you may as well have blown my brains out. I was like, and then next to that box was like a Jeep, a ski mobile, and a helicopter. I'll never forget that.
No kidding.
Yeah, not
everything.
Fucking ever. And I was like, I lived in like a low income housing complex, and then I was just suddenly for like a few months the coolest fucking kid in the housing complex. It wasn't just look at my new toy. It was like, look at all the toys we can all play with. Right. You can pick one. We can all pick one and have like full scale like battles and things like that. If any of like if any of the toys like broke, we would have like military funerals.
Oh my God.
We would bury them in the backyard. Like, yeah, we were in it.
Oh, that's awesome. Military funeral for G.I Joe.
Yeah, like it was like, cause like all the people who like made G.I Joe or like wrote for the cartoon or whatever were like basing all the material on like Vietnam films. Right. So you're watching this kid show and there will be someone there who's like, yeah, you never really get over it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? It's like the first time I ever heard the words 1,000-yard stare was in a Joe cartoon.
I don't think I know.
Like the 1,000-yard stare is like, it's like in any like war film where someone just sits down and they slowly zoom in on his face and you hear like echoes of gunfire, like that kind of thing where they're just lost in the dark past of the things they've done and seen. Yeah, and a great cartoon.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It sold toys.
Yeah, I always forget that like G.I Joe was such a big like when I was growing up. Obviously, like I don't know, I was into Barbies, and that G.I Joe was just like that's what the boys played with. It was the
boy version, the same company working on a binary scale, right?
But I forget that they had the whole show for G.I Joe and like the story.
One thing I was recently exposed to was like the mid 2000s, like straight to DVD Barbie films.
Okay.
And like the weird like CG animated ones, which I guess was their like very late attempt to try and do the same thing.
Yeah, I like so I just missed those being like popular for me like, for that age group. Yeah. But I've seen via TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and I'm like, for those girls, like those movies, they love them. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's like Barbie Nutcracker or Barbie Rapunzel or whatever. Yeah. Like their shit.
They like hyper meme them, and I'm like, and I was exposed to maybe like 6 or 7 of them from like this like young person that we work with, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna make you watch one more of these things, and it was like staring at a strobe light.
Yeah.
Except each strobe was like a different thing I was trying to understand. And I was like, I can't do any more of these. I gotta go. I gotta get back to work. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like they both had their time, I guess.
Yeah,
are you looking forward to the are you that hype? Are you looking forward to the Greta Gerwig?
The Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I am like, so I like was obsessed with Barbies as a kid, but like I'm still like something about the nostalgia. Like I follow just like collector Barbie accounts on Instagram. I'm like, I think if I was like a rich eccentric person with lots of room in my house, I would have like, you know, the room of just Barbies.
Yeah,
I think I would.
Yeah.
So the movie, I'm like, they're like not really saying. I'm so curious of like what it's gonna be about.
Yeah.
Like, is she like? Cause did you ever watch the Tyra Banks movie Life Size, where she plays a Barbie that comes to life?
I feel like I'm about to be ashamed to say no. Like I'm like there's no way that would pass in my like world scope at all. But also, am I doing the culture a disservice by not watching a Tyra Banks thing? Right? Like how does hey audience, get in the chat and holler at us about how Black culture feels about Tyra Banks. Do you have a Black audience?
I'm not sure.
Okay, word.
Maybe.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know who listens to this podcast.
Oh, word.
Like, get the numbers, but like nobody like
says
everyone
who or what they are.
Yeah, every once in a while, like someone will comment on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I like that thing you talked about, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't know what the thing you like says about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You could just be very enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like maybe they listened to that episode and they've never listened to it again.
Yeah.
That's not. I think this podcast is good.
Good. Fuck, I hope so. Like not for my sake. Like I'm having a great time, but I leave eventually. You're just. I imagine. Not only do I imagine that you're just like back here. I imagine you stay here.
This is my
You just
home.
sit in the chair until a guest is here. Yeah.
Like a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you're a kid. And
Yeah. I found out that like Issa Rae is going to be in the Barbie film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, who does she like? Because I don't know any other Barbie characters other than Barbie and Ken.
Right. There is. I mean, I was like, what's the? I think Christy is Barbie's black friend.
Word.
Yeah. There's Christy. Teresa's the brunette.
God. I wish Barbie could say she had more than one black friend. Like
yeah.
This is my black friend. It's like, oh, word.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's like never, I was going to try and like defend Barbie. Like,
to her credit,
she
like
only has one. You know, she's
one of everything.
Friend,
yeah,
one disabled friend.
And a younger sister that knows how to drive.
Yeah,
right.
Skipper.
Okay, who's Stacy?
Stacy, I don't know. Stacey?
Malibu State. Am I?
That's the Simpsons.
That's the Simpsons. Oh my God.
So, yeah.
I thought Stacy was like Barbie's home. Wow.
No, so Malibu Barbie is like the real
right
thing, and then in the Simpsons made it Malibu Stacy.
Right.
And then
what was the one from Rugrats that Angelica had with the fucked up head? Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia really went through it.
Oh, she's seen so. I would love to hear Cynthia talk one of these days.
Yeah, get Cynthia
be like
in Toy Story.
Yeah, it'd be like an episode of New York Undercover. You know, like Taxi Cab Confessionals, but with Cynthia.
Oh my God.
I've seen better days, but I've seen worse ones too. Like, oh, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah, Angelica was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's I find myself because I don't know what the film will be, and I'm very interested in like progressive like rehashings of things. I'm like I saw what they did to She-Ra, the Princess of Power and stuff like that. They made
I forgot. I heard that was good.
They made a new Carmen Sandiego that was like she's a thief, but all of her like teachers are the real bad guys, and she's stealing artifacts back from them, and like it's educational and fun, and and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm interested to see what Greta Gerwig would do with something like Barbie, which has just been like a tentpole of capitalizing on insecurities and stuff. Yeah. Not to say that G.I. Joe didn't also. There was a part where of my life where I was like, I feel some shame for not wanting to join the army.
Oh,
Jesus,
shit.
Right? Like, in between that and watching Band of Brothers just a little too young.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That just reminded me they did a G.I. Joe film. They did a couple.
Yeah, and they're not
very good.
No, they're not
good.
good.
Which is weird that they made sequels, because like even the first one,
the first one is really bad, and the second one is like mediocre bad with like one action scene that suits my fancy because of the thing it is. It's like G.I. Joe in the 70s was like trying to market Vietnam. That's all it was. Right. G.I. Joe in the 80s was like, let's try to make people not feel so bad that their dad screams in the middle of the night, and add like ninjas. So it was the ninja part that I was like, oh, cool. And then I was over it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that just thought of ninjas, they had those little mini ninja guy toys? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to.
God, because my brother had a ton of them. Like growing up in the 90s.
Are you talking about
small, and they were all different colors? I literally remember because he would bring them to church because they were so small.
Yeah. Yo, okay. Did you grow up in church as well?
Yes.
Or like
every Sunday.
I did too, and it was a lot. My dad isn't in the audience. It fucking blew, but but it was fine. Like I wouldn't take it back, but also like fuck. But yeah, I was the kid who would like try to sneak certain toys in. I'm probably wrong, but I think the thing you're talking about, because I had something akin, was like, the little green army men.
Okay, yeah.
They had ninja versions of that. So instead of green versus tan, it was like black versus white. And they had like different like poses with like swords and nunchucks and sais and things
it felt
like
kind of like that, but they were. I remember them being like, there was like a yellow one and like a purple one. Like there were all these little. Anyway,
maybe, yeah.
Little ninja guys.
Yeah, like I definitely fucked around with shit like that.
Yeah.
That was all the way up my alley. I was a big toy kid for a long time, and then I moved to the Turks and Caicos Islands when I was a kid. That's where my dad is from, and like my mom was like, "You're gonna hang out with your dad now," and I'm like, all right, girl, live your best life, because mine's about to kind of suck. It was like beautiful tropical paradise, and then I was hanging out with my dad, and my dad's like, bruh, and I'm like, bruh. He's cool, he's chill now. But when I got there, my sister said, you're too old for toys, you're gonna give all of your toys away. And I was 6 years old. So she was just being mean.
Oh,
So I had to give a bunch of my toys away, and then that I like to think I wasn't damaged by that, but I still collect mini like D&D figurines and then paint them at home and then put them on a shelf. So like the Barbie room, but like a single shelf. And so instead
if you had like unlimited space and like. You would go for it, right?
Because like they're like small, but then it's like, oh, you're fighting a dragon now, and there'll be like a giant dragon. So I would have a lot of those if I had a single room. Like it would be better to have a single room that you can close the door on. Because right now there's just a shelf in my like living room of my apartment that's like a very clear, like, not red flag, but like orange flag for sure.
The nerd shelf.
For like any like woman that I bring home. It's like, oh. And I'm like, all right, look, I am a functioning adult. I don't need to talk about this. You don't need to know about this. This doesn't need to be a part of it. This is for me.
I feel like that's okay. Like, I don't know. I have hung up in my apartment. It's a beach towel, I guess. It's like an NSYNC. It's like an NSYNC tapestry.
So by the time they were doing that type of merchandise for NSYNC, it would have been within the first 2 albums.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Because by the time they were 3rd and 4th album, it was only about them and the music, man. But like when they were first coming out, they were ubiquitous. They were fucking everywhere.
NSYNC merch of everything.
So which means that it's Timberlake with the like spaghetti hair.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Chris Kirkpatrick
with his fucking tips.
I don't even know.
Makes you want to hit the mic. Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. This fucking guy. But you know what's crazy about that being in my, because I had a friend walk in and he's just like, what the fuck is this, Gina? Like, this is terrifying. But I was like, my ex-boyfriend bought this for me. And then I said, like, oh, this is cool. I'll take this to the beach. And he's like, I thought you'd hang it on your wall. And I was like, you're right. I should.
Why? I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, something must have changed in you because, like, you said X and then it's still hanging on your wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because, because I hung it up. It's like right beside my door. So if like when you open the door, it's kind of behind the door, like when you walk in.
Yeah.
And I put it there because there's this big like box. Like,
right. The like switch, the breaker or something.
Yeah, the breaker. And it's just, so I was like, I'll just put it there and see if I like it. And then it stayed.
I have the same thing, and I used to hang, I forget what it was, something dumb, and I was so happy the day I got to hang up like a framed Childish Gambino concert poster over it, and everyone's like, cool, and I'm like, oh, culture, like how much how much of like a step up it is. I'm just like, oh, see, adults, and then they see all the toys and they're like, I'm like, I don't know,
baby steps.
Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
I feel like let me see.
Oh yeah. Are we like just like?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll do. I want to ask you a few more like nostalgia questions.
Yeah. Word. Are we doing speed round or did you actually have time?
Kind of speed round.
Cool. Yeah.
Like we can elaborate, but like okay, like first like childhood crush or celebrity crush.
Ooh, first celebrity crush. It's so fucking stupid and cliche. I wouldn't say crush, but it was like the first time I was like, woman, was like Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I watched that film on VHS a lot, and
nice.
It was like I was too young to be horny about it, but definitely like aware that I'm like, I like those shapes.
Right.
Like,
right.
yeah, there's like a design quality there that is appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're like, you're not horny about it, but like when I was a kid, I was constantly saying about guys on TV, I'm gonna marry him. Right.
Yeah. I never said that out loud because I was instilled with a deep shame about anything that even got close to that.
Right,
I don't know if that was taught. Probably taught.
Okay, well, we can we'll go into superheroes a little. This might be like a complicated question. I thought if you could build your own like super team, like Avengers or whatever,
right,
but out of like any brand of
word, so I can cross the timelines, as it were,
across DC, Marvel.
Yeah,
who would be your
interesting
team? Probably a big.
It's big, but I can get there pretty fast.
Okay.
So I fuck with Blade.
Nice.
So he's got to be there. I'm a big fan of a lot of the like kung fu heroes and stuff. Like I know that like Iron Fist is like problematic, but like he would still be on the team because he can throw hands. Shang-Chi as well. On the DC side, I think there was the Bronze Tiger, who was like a really cool kind of hero. Yeah, I think like if I just went through each franchise and I'm like, you're the martial artist, and I put you like I'm just like a diehard of like that genre. So whenever people borrow from that genre, even like incorrectly, like I'm still like I'm still like, all right, cool. Yeah, it's very much that like I come from like my older brother, big like hip hop head, and also was like practicing kung fu for like a number of years when I was young, and so those two things are inseparable for me. So yeah, that's nice. Like,
do you do any like martial arts?
Yeah, I took the same style of like Chinese kung fu as my brother did for like off and on for a decade and a half, I guess. Cool. Yeah, from for a decade, I'd say, from like 15 to like 26 or so. Yeah. And then I've been itching to get back in and remind myself that I'm like, I still got it. Yeah. But yeah, things hurt more. Yeah. Yeah. Just my back and legs for nothing. Right. Yeah. So,
yeah. I was trying to think of who I would pick for a superhero team, but like I don't have like a comic book knowledge. It's just from movies, and I'm like, it would just be like the women. Right. Yeah.
but like who and why? Like like if you had to name like 4 of them.
Right? I really like Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
She's so fucking fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much anyone who's a good hang.
Yeah. She's fun.
She's
funny.
Yeah. Also, Rogue from X-Men. I always loved her in the cartoon. Yeah, I don't know. It would be like Rogue and Jean Grey probably. Yeah, who else? I'm like, I like the Harley Quinn movie, but I couldn't pick Harley Quinn.
Right. Yeah. Like knowing Harley Quinn from the like 90s cartoon, I could easily pick her. She was just like ha, 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 and like, okay, that's fun. Yeah. And then before like after they made her up for the cartoon and before she got to the film, she had gone through that filter of being like hypersexualized, and by the time she got there, it was very much that. And so it's like yeah.
I mean, I guess I would pick Wonder Woman.
You say you guess. So I'm not feeling enthusiasm.
Yeah, I don't know. This shit. I do like because I'm thinking of like Gal Gadot.
Right.
That's why I'm saying I guess.
Right.
Because I don't want her.
You're not thinking of like the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Right. Version of her. Who played her? Yeah, Linda Carter.
Yeah. Okay. I
the God.
Her.
Yeah. You know, like the running and the.
Yes. She would just like spin really fast.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I wish I could change like that. Just change outfits. Just spin.
Yeah.
I wish I could rock heels like that. Fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I can't. At all. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that good team. I'm a little upset that you didn't have Mystique on there, but you know.
Oh, Mystique. Honestly, I would pick like everyone from X-Men. Pretty much, I would make all female X-Men.
Yeah. That's dope. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I'm so excited for them to like do more X-Men movies. Yeah. Anyway,
call it like XX, like the chromosome. Don't do it. I'm sorry, that's stupid. Okay, all right.
I'm the worst. Anyway, I just gonna when comics are riffing, I feel like I can't like riff. I'm just like.
To be fair, these are bad riffs, so it's not like you don't have much to keep up with.
I'm not thinking of like right now, but I was just thinking of other situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Word.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, yeah. I'm not quick enough. Anyways,
Are we ending on that?
yeah, okay. We have to end with I ask everybody, which Spice Girl are you?
Scary is my like political answer, but secretly I'm baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And that's with like very minimal knowledge of the Spice Girls, I think.
That's okay.
But I still feel like if I did like a deep dive on them and like read a Wikipedia page or two, I still feel like that would be true.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Thank you, Gina,
Thank you
for having me on your awesome show.
Oh my God, of course. Where can people find you? Do you want people to follow you?
Do you want people to find you?
I don't know.
Stay away. No, you can find me. Okay, so I'm a geek on the internet sometimes. So you can find me at Questline D&D, which is like a Twitch stream where sometimes I play Dungeons and Dragons for people on the internet. You can find me at Second Besties on TikTok and Instagram, making shorts and trying to be funny at my age in this economy with my friend Cheyenne.
I follow you guys.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Thank you. You can find me at Alain Williams on most platforms. That's me. That's who I am.
Great.
Yeah,
that's who you are.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and you can follow our podcast account on Instagram at Dear Pop Culture. Anyway, follow.
Did you peter out of your own outro?
I changed the Instagram. It used to be Dearest Pop Culture. And now it's Dear Pop Culture with a 0. It's too much. Anyways. Thank you for listening. We love you. Bye.
You will achieve great success if all of your calls to action feel like a chore.